Welcome to another video here on my channel. My name is Michelle, and if you are new here, I am born and raised here in Sweden, right now living here as well. I am a feel-good author here in Sweden and also a crochet designer. Lately, I've also started to do a lot more knitting projects, and this whole YouTube channel is all about my creativity in different ways, mostly when it comes to yarn. So today I am having another episode on my podcast, Stitches Unraveled. So I am going to talk a bit more about my latest projects and what I am hoping to be able to start working with very soon, but also a spotlight question where I'm going to talk about handmade things, how I think they should make a comeback and become something that we do more of. And maybe also asking you guys a little bit what your best tips is to make it more popular again. And then just some finishing last words in the end of this episode. So if you want to stick around for all of that, I encourage you to get grab a nice drink of some sort, something cozy, maybe your favorite project as well, or your latest work in progress. And let's go. So in the beginning of every episode of this podcast, I usually talk about the things that I am currently working on or have currently worked on. And I guess the latest thing is my cardigan, my summer cardigan from Maya Karlsson and Järbo. It was a knit-along that happened during the summer. I feel like I started when everyone else started, but finished much later than when you were supposed to. However, I can see that there are many people right now who is taking part of this knit along who's also finishing up now or making their second one or something like that, or even starting this one right now because they've had other projects that they wanted to finish first. But here is my version, and I will have some pictures soon, but I just wanted you to see how it looks when I'm holding it up. I love the colors. The colors here are amazing. I'm going to see if I haven't buttoned it up right now, so I'm not going to waste my time doing that now. But as you can see, I went with purple buttons, and I think that fitted really nice, made it look very feminine. I really love the colors. Like I said, I think this texture part is so beautiful as well. And here are the cuffs as well and the edge here. And let's talk a little bit about this one. I think this is what I would say is my first real color work knitting project. I've tried it before with a pair of gloves, but ended up frogging it because it was too tight. And then I have done maybe some very minor, I guess, color work before in my life, but never really, I feel like a full garment, if you will. And so this was my very first, and you were working in the round, and obviously in this one you were also steeking it, and I sew on this really beautiful ribbon or whatever. I talk about it in another video where I talk about and show you how it went when I was sticking this one. So if you want more details, go to that video. But so this was one that I was also sticking, which was also something I've never tried before on anything. Just made once. I tried it once on a swatch, but obviously that's not a full big knitting project that you're very scared if anything goes wrong, you know. So it was a bit terrifying to do it on this one that I had spent so much time to work on. So first time I was doing the color work, and I really enjoyed doing the color work. However, I did understand that I had to think a lot about my tension here, and there was some advice that you maybe should work with this inside out. So you work that you basically see this part when working. So you would work like this in the rounds, and maybe I should have done that, but I do think if you look at my color work and the inside here, it looks pretty even. I don't think it looks too crazy, but again, I think I was a bit tight on some spaces. And then they had I could see people giving the advice that the color that you want to be more visible, for example. Here you want the pink and the green to be more out instead of the background color here, the white. Then you were supposed to have the color that you wanted to pop more closest to you when working with the several colors. I don't know if it was yarn that you always had to think about, like always yarn over it as well. Still learning. But again, it was a lot of fun and it was very cool to see it all come together. I do think that, I'm not so sure, when I was blocking this and etc., I do not know if I love how it looks or sits around my neck. I do love a raglan fit. I do like the Eva cardigan that I had that fit around my basically neck and shoulders. But the round yoke is still something I'm not sure if I love it, if it's the yarn or if it's the bad tension that I had or something. I will obviously show you videos here and everything, and maybe you can decide what you think. I do think that it's like nice enough for me to be using it, of course, and I do think that some people say also that this wool will be softer and softer the more you use it, and I think that will also help it fit me better as well, not feel so stiff. But that was the one thing that I was thinking a little bit about. Also, this is Swedish wool that I used for the very first time, two strands, I think they call it. And I don't love the definition here, if you can see on the cuffs. It's not as neat as on my Eva cardigan where I used the Flora yarn from Drops. I think that turned out much more neater. I think I used double Flora, so maybe a bit thicker yarn, and I don't know if that's why it turned out like this. I think I went with the size 3mm on the needles for the cuffs and then 4 here, and I think that on the 4 was fine, you know, on the actual, you know, basically the full body of the cardigan. It was only on these the ribbed part where I went down a size even, but I feel like they didn't look so nice and even and crisp as I would have wanted to. But otherwise, I mean, it was okay. I don't think it looks cute anyway. I think it looks very nice and I don't mind it that much, but it was something I did think about, which it was also very much easier to do the button band, and especially maybe here where I have the holes. If you have seen my Eva cardigan, which was my first ever made cardigan, then you will see that I was a bit confused on how to make these buttonholes, but I think I figured it out a bit on these ones. So I'm pretty happy how these turned out. So that was an improvement, I think, from my first cardigan as well. And yeah, I think I need to maybe wet it down a little bit because there was a wrinkle that I accidentally folded it into there that is bothering me a bit, maybe. I don't know if you can see it now. Maybe it's not there. I don't know. Yeah, I need to fix that. But otherwise, very happy with this one. I would definitely want to try to do others as well. Even though it is in the rounds and it is a round yoke, I think I'm still very interested to try another color work, maybe also from Maya Carlson. She has a lot of really cool ones, very Nordic inspired ones. So I might do that, but we'll see. That's not going to be the next project, but that is all about my summer cardigan. And it was fun to see everyone else's color of choices. And it was nice to follow along and see what other people struggled with as well and all that. So I could definitely see myself doing that again, especially if there's a lot of freedom on when to finish and when to start. Now, the next thing, I'm going to drag this chair here. The next finished thing and the thing that I've been working a lot on is actually my little Christmas project for a Christmas crochet summit, I think it's going to be, with another crochet designer who's very focused on the jasmine stitch, if I remember correctly. And it will come more information about that later on and how to maybe take part of that and all. But this will be my little Christmassy crochet that I will offer, and it is a if you can't see it, but it's a Santa mailbox basically, and here you put in the Santa letters. This can be taken off if you don't want that, but it was you get to see how to make this whole like box, and it's supposed to be a wall decoration, but also have a function of putting some letters in there. This one is a burgundy red. I don't know, I thought it would look nicer when I saw it on the tube, the yarn, but I think that the brighter red is actually in the end the better choice. But it was fun to make, and it has this little opening here so you can take out all the letters later as well and obviously see them, so you don't need to grab and ruin this opening. But this is my the third post box or mailbox that I made, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think it turned out really cute. I wanted to make something that was very simple to make yourself, but also nice enough to have on the wall or as a part of your Christmas decoration. And I think it's also having a fun function, especially if you have kids in the family. So, and you can obviously decorate it however you want. You can do, instead of white, you can have it red, so it becomes more of a full-on post box, and then you can just like add maybe white on the opening here where the mail's going in. You can choose if you want to make a little, I don't know, a little roof thing, or you know, whatever you want to do. It's I wanted to do basically the skeleton, and then everyone else can decorate however they want. And I like this little simple function, but there are so many different kinds of Santa mailboxes that you can make. So this is obviously just one wall example. So I'm pretty happy with that. Been working hard with that. Have a few things to do before I can send the pattern to the creator, the other creator as well. But more information about that Christmas summit will come. Another thing that I've been working on and need to now start finishing it's my Daisy Lane top. It's been resting for a long time. I don't even know if I want to bring it up right now because I don't want to risk messing things up here. It feels like I haven't looked at it in ages. I am not too far away from being finished with it, to be honest. Let's not see if we can. Oh, poor thing. It's been just been in my box. Oh, careful with all the yarn here. Don't want to touch it too much. Okay, there we go. So here she is, and as you can see, she is getting really wrinkly as well. But yeah, I am on the bottom here, starting on the ribbon part. It is basically a t-shirt top, and it looks really cool. It's also a round yoke thing here going on, but then I have the sleeves, which is going to be short sleeves as well. I had a wish of finishing this one earlier, but I just prioritized the cardigan and the Christmas crochet pattern that I really wanted to have for this summit. So this one has been just put away, and I'm a little bit sad to see it's actually going wrinkly as well. But this is one of my need to finish projects soon. I really would love to wear it. I think I'm really proud of it so far. So it would be sad not to see it come to a finished results. So we'll put that there for now. And yes. But when I need something mindless, where I don't write down the pattern, where I don't need to think too much, I always need to have some kind of crochet project or smaller project as well. So I had these wooden bottoms, and I just wanted to start a little basket with just a simple black one that I had a bit much of, and just to create, and you can never have too many baskets. So I'm just trying to, make something, and that's my side project when I just need to do something. And another thing that I want to do very soon, which I maybe should take in the project I would like to do. So this would be the last current projects, I think. And let's look into the next chapter for what I want to do next. Whew, a lot of talking already. The projects that I want to do next is, I have mentioned it before, but I want to do the Harry Potter or the Weasley Christmas jumper for my brother. I've already got some yarn for that, a marine blue with some yellow beige, I think, for the letter. And I think it will be a lot of fun to make that one. I have a book, a knitting book from the Harry Potter, I guess, that this knitting book that I don't know if it's called Magical Knitting or something like that. So I do have the pattern already, but it's also on Ravelry for anyone who wants to do it themselves. But that is one that I really want to do very soon. So I think that's going to be my next big project that I will start after I try to finish my Daisy Lane top first. I will try to prioritize the top first. Another small thing that I want to do, and that was what I was almost showing you before, but it is the cashmere silk from this Norwegian company. And it's 70% cashmere and then 30% silk. And I want to do a green long scarf, a thin green like this. And I do have a pattern for it as well, and I think it looks really cool when I've seen the picture, but I haven't figured out yet how to do this like very small, simple cable kind of thing that they are doing there. I'm going to double check again and see if I can manage it. It's supposed to be very easy. I'm not that, as I said, I'm still on this knitting journey, still learning a lot. So that is another little small project that I want to start very soon. And if you've been here before, you've probably seen that I also have another series where it's like me on my journey to make my first knitting pattern. And I have basically done 2 swatches so far. And I do think about that one so much. And I do want to start that too. But I do feel like I need to finish the Harry Potter or the Weasley Christmas jumper first. And I need to do other small things here. But yeah, otherwise I really want to jump on that one as well. But it's like laying in the background and like whispering to me to visit it very soon. So I need to start with that too. Otherwise, besides those projects, I do, of course, like I think many of you guys also have a lot of projects that you would wish that you had time to do. Same here. I have a lot of yarn. I have a lot of thoughts, but I just need to focus on, certain things at a time, or otherwise I think I will be very, it will be a bit overwhelming. And also, my kids are now starting preschool, and the oldest one is starting some kind of like the preparation for school as well, kind of year. So there's a lot of new things in our family and a lot of plans going on at the moment that is keeping me a bit overwhelmed as well. And I also do have a contract for a Christmas book that I will publish via a Swedish company next year. And that will also have to take some of my time. And as a mother of 3 with a 1-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 6-year-old, the time is very limited to what I have for all the things that I want to do. So that is a little bit of a tricky thing, and yeah, it's you can easily get overwhelmed and don't really know what to do when you get an hour. You're like, what am I supposed to do? And then a lot of other people around you, they say, well, take the opportunity to just have a coffee and just, collect yourself and etc. But then when you do, you have all these things that you haven't done that you need to get done. So I'm not going to talk too much more about that, but that's a little bit the situation right now. So I'm trying to be kind to myself and not have too many wish projects in front of me so I don't get overwhelmed. So yeah, let's jump to the other or the third chapter where we're going to talk more about a specific question that I mentioned here in the beginning of this video. Okay, so I wanted to talk about how do we basically make handmade things a thing again? Because I think that we're living in a world where it's like consumption. We're buying things, we're shopping things, everything needs to be new, everything needs to basically look store-bought, or some people seems to have this like, not ick, but I feel like ick is one of those modern words these days that people use when they don't like something. But it feels like not many people like handmade things. If they look handmade, they like it if it looks store-bought, which I think is a very funny and very crazy thing. I do think that right now it's a perfect time to start making Christmas gifts, for example. And I don't think that we should have too many Christmas gifts for our kids or for each other. I think that one maybe special one, two maybe special ones should be enough. It is hard though when, for example, we have kids that goes in school with other kids who have different values, different cultures, etc. So it's hard to then just trying to teach your kids about like not being too materialistic. At the same time, they see it on the other kids and get jealous, and they see that the other kids get so many gifts, or they get certain gifts that they wish they would get instead. And it is hard to explain that to someone who is very young and maybe inexperienced when it comes to the world yet. So yeah, it's a hard one, and it's all about balance, and we're trying to figure it out, and it's not always easy. But I do wish we did value handmade things much more. I'm a very creative person. I do love to crochet, to knit, and yes, they take a long time. So you want to make sure that you give it to someone who really appreciates it. And then I think that, you don't need to be super creative to be able to give away handmade things. It can be also things that you bake, you do treat someone for dinner, or you can just make a little note in an envelope and give that to someone during Christmas and tell them, or give them a promise of a dinner within the 30 days or something like that. Or just a handwritten letter about your appreciations of that person, what you appreciate with that person. And it can also be, obviously, if you feel like it's easier to maybe make necklaces or earrings with beads, or if you have other, clay or something like that, that should be, also fine. Friendship bracelets, if you will. And if you don't feel comfortable to make or even enjoy making your own things to give to others, I feel like you can also support other makers or creative people and buy their things that they make and give it away to someone around you. Because I think it's also important to support local makers in your area. And also making sure that we appreciate people who spend a lot of time when they're making things. That's why I think that it's important with social media, because I think this is a way to show others around us how long something can take to make. And I just hope that it will be more appreciated. And I guess in one way, I really wish I had more of a solution to how do we make things more popular, these handmade things. And it can be like a basket. You can even like buy a basket that someone has handmade if you don't want to make it yourself, and you can just fill it with a lot of nice goodies, thoughtful things that the other person will enjoy and love. There's a lot of ideas on what you can do. And I really wish that we would appreciate those things more. And I wish that there was a solution to this crazy consumption of things, that we did actually maybe didn't feel an ick when someone gave us something they made, for example. I think handmade socks would be very nice to get myself, or mittens, or a beanie, or a scarf, or even like if they would give you obviously a cardigan or something. That is a lot of work, so I would really appreciate that. Of course, it's always hard to know someone's style, but if you do want to play it safe, you can always go with very neutral colors, or go with something that they already have before you start making something. But I mean, that's also part of I guess when you're giving someone something handmade, you want to have them in mind with the color choices and the pattern choices and maybe the style choices, of course. But I don't know. I feel like, I think that we need to figure out a way to go back to a time where we do appreciate when people put in time and effort to make something or buy something that someone else has made for someone else, and just appreciate that, instead of buying things that are just made in big, I guess, fabrics is what I want to call it, but maybe that's not the English word. industrial things. I feel like, I mean, I'm not saying for everything, but maybe gift giving, we can at least go and appreciate the handmade things. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? That's something I've been thinking about now that we're getting into that second half of the year where we are starting to think about Christmas gifts probably. And I just think that it would be a good idea for more handmade things, if you ask me. So yeah, that was my spotlight question for this episode. So let me know what you think and what your thoughts are in the comment section below. And let's go to the last words for this episode. Okay, so we are in the end of this episode, and I thought it was a lot of fun things here to talk about. I always wish that I had made more, done more things, like had a chance to knit more, crochet more and all that. But I also trying to, you know, accept and appreciate the amount of things that I have had done and understand that time is what time is, and it's only what we only do our best, and we can only do what we can with the time that we have. So I'm trying to be very respectful of that, but it's hard because I'm a very ambitious person. I really have all these ideas and thoughts and dreams and things that I want to make, and I am trying to work on my patience, but it is hard. Otherwise, I am looking forward to really finishing that Daisy Lane cardigan, or it's not a cardigan, it's a top, and I want to really finish it because it feels like it's been ages. I've been working on it for ages, it feels like, but it's mostly been laying in its bag, so not really, but you know what I mean. It's nice to finish that because I also want to like get the chance now to start on other projects. Obviously start on socks. I've been wanting to make socks for a long time, but I feel like that it's not as simple as making just a thin scarf, which is something I want to start very soon. But socks, it feels like I'm still, because I'm not used to making socks yet. I think I've made one pair, two pairs if you count the kids pair of socks that I did maybe 1 or 2 years ago, which you know, questionable how good they are. The latest one that I did was I was more happy with them, but it ended up being almost 2 different sizes. So I'm like looking forward to, you know, make another pair where I can at least feel like, this is nice. I can actually feel like happy to use these. So I have a lot to learn there. So I don't want to call my socks knitting. I don't want to call it a simple knitting or small knitting yet, because I don't feel like I'm there yet. But yeah, so there's a lot of things that I want to start doing. So that's why I feel like I really want to finish that Daisy Lane top, because I don't like it being in its bag and just laying there. So yeah, that's all I had to say for this episode and this time. I'm hoping that you're working on something that you really are enjoying, and if there's anything you want to give a tip about, any patterns that you're really enjoying making, or if you have any maybe good cardigan patterns that you think I should try, please leave that in the comment below, because I am enjoying making cardigans, and I do think that they are very simple to just basically use almost as a jacket. So I would probably make more cardigans, probably more so than a jumper. So yeah, if you have any good tips on any good patterns, please let me know in the comment sections below. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye!